Good morning, everybody. So with today's video, I'm going to give you top 10 autumn cheapies. Classy, versatile. Most of these are actually quite versatile. There might be one or two that might be a little bit more casual, but I think that there would be great work fragrances. And the unplanned thing about this one here is that they're all older fragrances. Like I'm talking like 15 years to like even 25. First one was actually launched in 2006, and this is not in any numerical order, but that's going to be Dunhill London. This made countless lists back in the day, and it still makes a fair bit of lists to this day as well. Whew, this is just one of the best fragrances from Burberry. You're gonna get port wine, there's leather, opoponax, there's woods, a lot of woods, and I feel like a little bit of spices with tobacco. If I have not said tobacco, most certainly the tobacco. This gets a lot of like holiday lists. Like this smells like the Christmas time, Thanksgiving. It really just has that festive holiday vibe. This smells a little mature, it smells classy, very versatile, so suit and tie, tuxedo, and as well with like a sense of style. But I think that you can maybe wear this with a like leather jacket and a black tee. I would always go with a black tee just to play it safe, because you never know if the liquid itself is going to stain a white tee. But oh man, it's still a wonderful smelling fragrance. That does lean a little bit more on the mature side, but if you're a young guy, you can rock this. I just feel like you might be a little bit more mature for your age, and there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, I'm 47, I haven't fully grown up, okay? But this just smells a little bit more mature, but absolutely fantastic for the fall, autumn, and as well, wintertime. Longevity, no more than 6 hours. Fragrance number 2 came out in 2002. No pun intended, no nothing, okay? But this is a great forgotten fragrance from the brand of Givenchy. Givenchy, put it on. This is a great fall autumn fragrance. Not when it's too cold, but like right now we're in like the early October. This would be a great scent for that. But as well, springtime. This is not going to cut through the wintertime unless like you live in like the southern United States where it doesn't get overly cold. It does get cool though. But for me, this just has like what a dad would smell like, what a father figure would smell like, because this is a fragrance for someone who only wants a few fragrances in their collection. In the air, I get the citruses, I get the coriander, there is a violet that does add a little bit of a powdery undertone, there is vetiver, cedar, and of course lavender, and apparently there's lavender. So for the most part, it's like a woody, like a fresh, spicy, woody scent with lavender to freshen it up, and with some like a slight amber towards the base. You do get the citruses in the opening, but just a great scent. For me, this is more of an office fragrance. This is perfect for like every day. So if you're going to work, this is definitely that longevity. 6, maybe 7 hours. I would say 6 hours. Number 3 came out in 2007. Dunhill Pursuit. This is a great colder season scent. Like I'm talking autumn and winter. This does have a bit of a bad boy feel because there's a lot of amber and incense. There's also sandalwood and cedar. There is musk, and there's going to be like some green leaves and petitgrain. But for the most part, it's like just an ambery woody scent with incense and like musk. I don't really get the petitgrain at all. And there's also a little bit of a, just a little bit of a powdery undertone, but it has that bad boy feel. Like when it comes to these fragrances, you're not gonna think that bad boy has like a powdery feel. I get you, but this super ambery woody with incense, bad boy right there. The slight powdery undertone makes this a gentleman's fragrance. Leather jacket, tuxedo, longevity, 6 to 7 hours. Next fragrance leans a little bit more on the casual end, but I think that this would be a great work fragrance and as well a going out fragrance. More of a casual night out, but Hugo Boss Hugo Dark Blue, 1999 release. Loads of citruses of like orange, lemon, lime, ginger. The ginger energizes this, but there's a lot of cypress, mahogany. There's definitely going to be some cardamom, cedar, benzoin, and vanilla. Like a citrus woody with some amber, like the benzoin, with some vanilla and spice. It's a fun fragrance. The main takeaway for me is like what I love most about this is going to be like the citrus and the ginger. And I also gotta state, so I just reviewed this one. I'm not sure if this video is gonna go out before this one, but there is like a bluish aspect to it. I feel like there's lavender. Lavender is not listed on Fragrantica, nor is it on Parfumo, but I feel like there's something blue in this fragrance. I don't know why, but I really like this one, and it only took like 25 freaking years to check this one out. Fall, spring, warmer winter days, so like southern United States sort of bit, but just a great underrated scent from Hugo Boss, and one that is definitely forgotten. 5 to 6 hours of performance. Next one came out in 1998, and I did not appreciate this one back in the day. My dad had this one, and I really do like this one now. I really fully appreciate it now because it does bring back a lot of memories of the 90s when I was a kid, but as well my dad. Boucheron Jaipur EDT. There is an EDP concentration. That one's going to be a little bit thicker and denser. Smells a lot like this. This is just maybe not as thick, like maybe a little bit lighter than the EDP concentration, but this one is still very good. There's a lot of citruses of lime and lemon. There is cardamom and cinnamon as the warm spices. There is benzoin, cedar, tonka bean, and apparently there is florals of like carnation, rose, and I believe jasmine. For the most part, what this is ambery, sweet, spicy, woody, and it is not listed, but I get like a vanilla smell from this. I don't know if that is from the benzoin or not, but there's definitely is this sweet, creamy, vanillic sort of feel. And with the spices and that amber, sexy but classy. It does have that 90s feel, but I think that someone who is young, like early 20s, can absolutely rock this. This would be a great night out fragrance. It's very versatile. Now, even though that vanilla is not a listed note, a lot of people who have watched my video on this have stated that they do get that vanilla vibe. Vanilla is not really, for me, like a versatile note. It's more of a fun type of note. But with this is a versatile fragrance. Dressing it down, something like this, sense of style, all the way to a tuxedo. You could wear this to a black tie event, but as well like a casual night out with your significant other, a date, a girlfriend, or just going out for drinks. And even though that this is an EDT, I get great performance of 8 to 10 hours. You might get 6, but still, even with 6 in like a $40 fragrance, you can't go wrong. Next fragrance came out in 2005, and it was out of stock for years. I believe it's like discontinued, but after so many years, it's back on FragranceNet right now for under $40 USD, and that is Kenneth Cole Signature. This is a pretty solid fragrance, and if you're more of an introvert type of person, this is a fragrance that might be for you, because this is a fragrance that doesn't have great like projection or amazing longevity. You're gonna get about 5-6 hours is really pushing it with the performance, but projection, like the first maybe 30 minutes, there's that nice little scent bubble, but after that, it's more of a fragrance for yourself. But what you're gonna get orris and violet that do add a little bit of a powdery undertone, a lot of orange and grapefruit, along with warm spices of pimento and cardamom. The base itself is woods, papyrus, and amber. Even during the mid-light, like the mid itself, not the midlife, the mid, you do get a little bit of that ambery feel. The color of the bottle and some of these notes of amber, pimento, cardamom, woods, you're thinking that this is going to be a super heavy fragrance, even just by the color of the bottle, right? It's not. This is, and I just did a review of this, and this video might go up before it. This does have heavier notes, but it's balanced out by the freshness from the citruses, but as well from like the orris and the violet. Very underrated and understated scent that's perfect for this time of the year, early October. So just transition from summer to autumn, fall, whatever you call it. But as well, this is a great spring fragrance. And for me, this is like a bit of a sense of style. Something like this, suit and tie, you know, this is like a modern day gentleman sort of fragrance. Yeah, it does have bad boy notes of like pimento, amber, and woods, but it has gentlemanly notes of orris and violet. Next fragrance came out in 2003, and that's going to be Azzaro Visit for Him. This is pretty much just like a woody, smoky incense scent. Top notes are going to be pink pepper, cardamom, and nutmeg, so definitely the spices. You're going to get ginger, the mid is going to be gaiac wood, cedar, along with ladamum and incense, and the base is going to be musk and ambergris. So once again, overall, woody, incensey, but with spices and of course like a little bit of amber and musk. This has a mature feel to it. It has that gentlemanly aspect, but at the same time a little bit of like a bad boy mysterious edge. I know sometimes these don't make any sense, and if you're new to my channel saying you can't be both, in some ways you can. Think of James Bond. James Bond, cultured, sophisticated, charming, very debonair, knows how to dress, but he has that bad boy killer assassin 007 side. And as well, the Kingsmen. I use them a lot, but Kingsmen, super well dressed, polished, prim and proper, cultured, worldly, old fashioned. But at the same time, they have the killer assassin side. This is kind of that. So if you're looking for a nice incense fragrance with woods and spices and musk, this is one that you might want to check out. This has been forgotten over the years. And from Azzaro. Azzaro does a lot of fresh, a lot of safe, mass appealing fragrances. This is not that. Is it like daring and challenging? Not really, but in some ways it is, especially if you're only into like your freshies. This might be something that you may want to check out, especially if you're looking to try something new. Kind of get out of your comfort zone. Longevity, 5 to 6 hours. Next fragrance came out in 2006, and it's actually a pretty solid fragrance. Hugo Boss Selection. This has a lot of citruses of grapefruit, bergamot, and mandarin orange, but there's warm spices of star anise and pink pepper. Cedar needles, vetiver as the woods, patchouli, and musk. And apparently there's geranium, but what I personally get, a lot of citruses, the spices, the woods, and the musk. This is a pretty musky fragrance with, for me, it's like a musky, spicy type of fragrance, I should say. And I believe that the powder, like the powdery undertone, it's not overly powdery, but there's a little bit there, is from the musk itself. I believe so. But this is like a spring, but definitely like a transition from like summer to autumn type of fragrance. Versatile, dressing it down, like something like this, all the way to a suit and tie. This is a great work scent as well. Longevity, no more than 6 hours. We're down to the last two. This one came out in 2001, and it's a pretty solid fragrance in my opinion. Mont Blanc Presence. This is actually quite nice. It does have that early 2000s vibe though, I gotta state that. This has a lot of warm spices of cardamom, cinnamon, and ginger. The ginger definitely energizes it. There's gonna be some green apple, some sage, a powdery heliotrope, and the base is gonna be musk, amber, and a lot of woods of teakwood and sandalwood. So overall, a very spicy, woody fragrance with that powdery heliotrope and a little bit of apple and musk. That's what this is. This is very gentlemanly, more mature than someone who's like, I'm thinking like 30, 35 and up for this one here. But if you're a young guy and you like it, you're an old soul, you rock it. This, just very understated. Spring, but most certainly autumn and wintertime. Longevity, 6 to 8 hours. So this is one of the better performing fragrances in this list. And last but not least was a recommendation from a friend who I will be meeting up with in a few weeks. That is going to be Stuart from the channel Sense of Style. Please make sure to give him a follow if you have not done so. Great guy, he's doing his thing. But the fragrance that he really, I don't want to say influenced me, but in his video I'm like, wow, I gotta get a bottle of La Ligue pour Homme 1997 release. This reminds me of my dad. I'm not sure if my dad rocked this back in the day. He most certainly rocked this one, and I believe that's it from this list. But this does remind me of my dad in some ways. The 90s. This is just classy. It is mature. If you love woody fragrances that have cedar, sandalwood, that have mature notes of patchouli and oak moss, this is something that you might want to check out. There are other notes of lily of the valley, jasmine, but there is citruses of bergamot, mandarin orange, tangerine. There is pomelo, and of course lavender, and there's vanilla. I don't get the vanilla, but what I for the most part get, the woods for sure. Citruses, I do get the oak moss, and I do get the lavender. This has that old school vibe DNA, and it's actually got really good performance of like 7 to 8 hours. Very versatile, signature scent worthy. This, what other fragrances in this list? This and this, I think, are great fragrances for fathers out there. I just picture dads rocking these 3 fragrances, especially this one. So if you're an older guy, like I'm 47, so when this came out, my dad was, wow, time flies, was right around my age. He was 48 or 49. 48, because he was born in 49. Wow. It's crazy how time, like how it just works out, huh? I'm talking about this fragrance now, and I'm 47. I'm almost his age when this came out. But this just reminds me of my dad. Like, and my dad is still someone that I look up to. He's my role model. He was my hero then. He is my hero now. I'm very fortunate to have a dad like him. But I just, you know what? I just might gift him this. I just might gift him La Ligue pour Homme. It might bring back some memories for him as well. But check this one out if you haven't done so. And guys, that is 10 autumn versatile classy cheapies for 2024. Again, most of these you could wear in the wintertime, and some are more suited for the autumn, but as well the springtime as well. If you like this very video, please leave me one of these. It does show YouTube and the algorithms that you like this type of content. Any reviews that I've done on any of these fragrances, they will all be down in the description box below. But because that this is a cheapie list, why don't you check out right here? You might get a seasonal, you might get something like this as well. Who really knows? So I think about time to take care, and I will see you later. Thanks for watching, everybody.